Hello and good morning, NIA parents. We're happy to have you joining with us today. We are going to be presenting and sharing a very important topic, and that's time management and how that impacts student success and all that uh, affects students' day, whether it begins from home and ends from home, and what that looks like from the moment they enter the school building. I am Dr. Sheila Shrara. I am the school principal, and with us we have also.
Hi, this is Ms. Sadiq. I'm the office manager and pupil accountant at Noor International Academy.
So the agenda today, we're going to be looking at a few different aspects. We're going to be looking at student performance and what the research tells us about student performance with respects to attendance and tardiness and how that impacts student success. We're going to also discuss briefly a little bit about our school attendance policy. We're going to look at the state guidelines and the expectations and what they expect from schools. And then we're also going to look at some strategies to support both students and families and managing their time and ensuring time is utilized to ensure student success and their performance. And then we'll also be looking at the holistic approach when we're considering all aspects of the child's performance when it comes to not just academics, but behavior, and what that looks like for the family as well. So looking at the research, come on, please. We got. I need another set of my glasses. Excuse me for a moment. So when we look at the research and we look at the impact on the performance, academic performance of students, and looking at tardiness, we look at the impact on learning. And students who arrive late frequently are impacted from the very start of when they enter the classroom. And that has a very critical impact on their learning, whether they're missing the instruction itself, key concepts, information that the teacher is sharing in the very start of the day, which really offsets a student and also impacts the rest of the class. We're also thinking and considering students' understanding and comprehension of just day-to-day functions and the classroom routines, which definitely begin from the very first moment that the day begins, and our school day begins, as you all know, 7:55. The disruption this causes not only to the student, but to the classroom and the teacher also has an impact on the overall conduciveness of the environment to both teaching and learning. That also obviously negatively impacts students' grades and their performance. So if they're missing essential instructional, content, they're missing elements of the learning, then this negatively impacts when they are being assessed. They're missing essential components of the learning, and that is relevant and seen in their classroom data in both day-to-day assessments or those unit assessments where we refer to as summative assessments. Ms. Sadiq will be sharing a little bit more with us about our attendance policy and the guidelines and expectations for our school.
So parents need to know that the law of Michigan for attendance required a parent or the legal guardian of a child who's age from 6 up to 18 years old to bring them to school every day during school year. So it's the responsibility of a parent or the legal guardian to bring and make sure that their students or their children arrive to school on time. The repeated tardiness may result that the student will not receive the minimum instructional hours that required by the state, which is not less than 95%. There is a daily reporting to the state about the attendance for all students that's required to be sent to the State of Michigan Department of Education. So we did this every month. So we need to report the attendance of every student in school. So arrival to school. Parents need to know that students should be in their classroom by 7:55. Tardiness. Some parents would ask what is tardy means. Tardy is, in another word, students who are arrived to school or to classroom after 7:55. They arrive late to their classroom. So we need to know and remind parents that our school daily attendance should be from 7:55 up to 3:10 afternoon. So for students who are arriving after 7:55, they have to report to the office to get their tardiness slip or pass that needs to be given to teacher, and they will be marked as tardy. If a student is arriving after 8:05, so it's responsibility of a parent to come to the office and sign them in, and also a tardy slip is going to give to the student. Student tardiness are checked weekly by the attendance office. So if a student tardiness exceeded during a week, so he might lose some time from his recess time. That will impact on the student because some of them, they're waiting for the recess time to spend it with their other friends. So it's impacting them. If 5 tardiness is happening in 1 month, so the attendance office will send a parent a warning letter. As one of our school policies, every 5 tardiness will be considered as 1 absence day. And if tardiness continue to be happening during school year, so the academy and the academy administration will call for meeting the student and the parent as well.
So Ms. Sadiq shared an overview of our policy and expectations from our school, but much of those policy and expectations are handed down to us from the state of Michigan, as these are state expectations and requirements. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Again, we don't want at the elementary level for attendance or tardiness to be punitive for the student, as we recognize in many cases, students' tardiness is directly impacted and as a result of, the parents. And, it's not necessarily at the fault of the student. There might be issues. And though we recognize tardiness does happen from time to time, we also try to ensure students understand the importance of being to school on time and also having them develop that sense of urgency in the morning to get to the classroom on time. Hence the reason for having them lose a few minutes off of their recess when they have collected multiple tardies in that same week. This just builds a sense of responsibility, a sense of ownership, so they can develop independence. Now, there's so many ways to develop and create time management skills to ensure that both children and the family has things in place, has strategies and methods of organization in place so that their day and their week is well prepared for, and that being on time to school is possible. So with that being said, there is in so many a variety of approaches to preparing and ensuring that your time is managed. So as we do in school and in the classroom with students, creating routines at home. And of course, routines need to be followed consistently. So when kids come home, there is some type of a schedule. There is a set time for snack, resting, relaxation, whether it is, taking a shower, preparing for dinner, doing homework, everything that happens from the time they get home to the time they go to sleep, with obviously some flexibility in there as well. We know that things in family dynamics are not rigid. Creating and reviewing that routine and that schedule with your child is important. It's great to get their input, and so they take ownership of that schedule and that they are able to follow it. When they understand it, they were more likely to be able to follow a schedule. And then, of course, having some flexibility and revisiting that schedule. If things don't work well for mom or dad or whoever is at home, or the child, then knowing that you can revisit the schedule, make some updates, tweak it, and help it fit your family dynamics. And then, of course, have that schedule visible, posting it on maybe the refrigerator where, you're not always having to repeat the schedule, but you refer your child to the schedule. Considering age level appropriateness and their readability, where they're able to read the schedule independently, recognize what's happening. Are they able to tell time? These are all things to consider. And it might just be a friendly reminder with your kiddo and saying, oh, look, it's 5:30. What should we be doing at 5:30? And then having them refer to the schedule. This, again, develops a sense of independence, a sense of responsibility, and a sense of ownership. These are some of the strategies that we use here in the school. And so when you mirror these same type of strategies that children are accustomed to seeing and experiencing and hearing about at school, they're more likely to be in line with that at home. And that will overall ensure their success, both at school and at home. And for parents, it will make your life a whole lot easier. It may take a little time to develop these routines and procedures, but it is well worth it, and well worth in the sense of developing your child's level of responsibility and level of independence, and being able to rely that they will also support, following a schedule. To do this, you also want to make sure that you are recognizing when students are making your child is making good choices. We do so by not necessarily bribing them and offering a reward in terms of something tangible anytime they meet these expectations, but just giving some positive praise, a high five, good job, I'm so proud of you, I really like when you, and then filling in the blank. I'm so impressed. Positive recognition and affirmation go such a long way. And then, of course, when students are not following the schedule, that's, obviously the adult part of, oh, look, we're off track, and making sure you point out the time, what should have happened, what didn't happen, and what should we do differently the next time? How can we help, make sure we don't miss these things again? And explaining the negative impact. Oh, this is going to set us off. Well, now we don't have time, enough time to read that bedtime story. Now we don't have time to, do whatever was planned because now, it's almost bedtime. It's almost time to sleep. So strategies are endless in the technology era we live in. So there are apps online. If you have a smartphone like the average person these days, there are so many apps that can assist you in scheduling and giving reminders. Fun games and scheduling apps that are very child friendly and are intended for children to use. This helps kind of create a whole new view of what time management and following routines and scheduling looks like for children, where it's actually appealing. And it actually sends them notifications, and they get to check off when they did or completed a task and at what time they did it. by the end of the day or the end of the week, they earn points. And so it's like a game system. There's an array of different apps. I will be posting them on our Class Dojo page for parents who would like to download these apps and utilize them. Some of them are just listed in this slide. I'll be sharing a digital format of that. So, when we think of holistic time management and we think of a child holistically, we're looking at really all aspects of a child and really what management is. It's really management of self and self-discipline, and knowing that, understanding that a day, in reflection of time and tasks that need to be done, are time associated. And so, with considering time and tasks and what is involved in one's day, we also have to consider, and yes, even as children, understanding the person that is following and trying to complete the tasks within a given time frame, and to be successful at that. You have to understand that, where a child is and their capacity and their child development, and their mental capabilities. We also have to understand their physiological needs, and their spiritual needs, what makes them feel good, what motivates them, and what discourages them. So these are all things that have to be taken into consideration when we're considering children following a schedule and understanding that that they have control over themselves. These are some things to keep in mind. As adults, we look at those same aspects of ourselves and ourselves as individuals, and really truly understanding ourselves, and that being reflective, thinking about what we've accomplished or what we've done or have not done at the end of the day. So being reflective is very important, considering what worked, what didn't work, what we were successful at, what are our failures or our mistakes, our opportunities to make things better, do things right, and learn and grow from them. So considering all of these things is very important. And many times, whether children or adults, that might be a tough part for people to really, truly reflect on themselves. And then, of course, understanding what discipline means, and really that self-control, and having willpower, and understanding wants and needs and the difference between the two. And then management, really being able to manage oneself, life, and schedule is associated with understanding and scheduling. And that's really, really the bottom line when it comes to being able to complete and fit tasks that we do from day to day. And the best skill we can develop in children even at a very young age is organization, independence, responsibility when it comes to time management, self-discipline, and organization. Here are some of the links from the research that support some of the information that was shared with you all today. Know that the school and the home, we are partners and in developing the skills that our children so very much need to be successful as children and into a young adulthood. And so although we develop these skills at school, in order for them to be successful at school, they need to be present also at home. And so it flows into each other. As we know, before they get to us, they are in the first school, which is the home. And before they get to us, we want to make sure that they are coming in prepared, happy, comfortable, and ready for their day. And so keep in mind the most successful students are the students that are here, that they're consistently here on time, and their day is not disrupted by tardiness or lack of sleep, poor sleep schedule, uncomfortable or nervous about homework that wasn't completed. And these are all things that impact a child's not only day for their learning, but their social and emotional state of mind when they come in, and greeting their peers and working with their teachers. So we hope that some of this information was helpful to you, and that can assist you in applying some of these things at home to further support children's development and time management, and impact both their academic and behavior successes in school and beyond. So we thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again in future topics. Again, I'll be posting this information on Class Dojo. For those of you that aren't with us, you can view this later, as it is recorded and will be posted. Ms. Sadiq, did you have anything else you wanted to close on with respects to attendance?
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone who watches us, and hopefully all this information would help parents, give them a clear idea why with the help of them, we can make the attendance of their children is getting better, to be on time for school. Everything we're working is for the benefit of their kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sadiq.
Thank you.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM-certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at NIAPSA.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at StarPSA.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at UniversalPSA.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ULAPSA.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.